this is SwitchWatch. My name is Juan Romero. This is Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption Switch Review. Let's get straight into this one. One thing that this game lacks is certainly in the story department. What we know when starting out is that we are on a quest for redemption, and that will require sacrifice. That much is said in the title of the game. The powers which draw you to this place are secret and of course terrifying. All we know is that we have to beat an initial 7 bosses and then 1 more to beat the game, but I didn't feel any affinity to the character at all, and while it's not the end of the world, it would have been nice to have a little more context throughout. In terms of gameplay though, this is a boss battler game, which means you only have to fight against these bosses, which at first are very daunting and seem impossible. So much so, my Switch needed to have a rest, or I needed a rest from it before I destroyed the Switch itself. Such was my frustration. If you felt frustrated in Fury, then this in my mind is harder still, and Dark Souls is a cakewalk in comparison. You see, there's no places to explore with enemies to practice your skills on, to level up before taking on the boss, and man, I wish there was, because this game, for me anyways, could have been so much more. But on the other side of the coin, you know exactly what you're getting here. The interesting concept is how you need to level down before facing any one of the 7 initial bosses, which you can choose from the outset, and the puzzle aspect of the game comes into it in terms of which order you choose to do these bosses in. Now, in choosing each boss fight, you have to sacrifice a certain part of your power or skills to face that particular boss, and for example, you may want to reduce health, and when I moved on to another, I would still have my reduction in health, but would now need to sacrifice something else like my shield breaking after so many hits. Now, these are fixed sacrifices for each particular boss. You cannot pick and choose which sacrifice you make with any particular boss. The only thing you can control here is the order you make the sacrifices in, and within this lies the beauty of this game for me, because it's a system where you want to choose which sacrifices are going to have the least impact on the next boss you fight. There's a system at first which seems super harsh, but once you begin to master your character, you soon begin to understand the boss's patterns, movesets, and discover ways to take them down. I don't want to spoil any of that in this review, as part of the fun here is discovering them for yourselves, but your moves consist of some very simple stuff that if you've played Dark Souls you'll probably be quite familiar with. There's also only one character to choose from. You can use a sword in one hand and a shield in the other, and with this setup you can defend heavy hits with your shield, and you're also more nimble. For more power, however, you can use a double-handed sword which deals more damage but is really slow to yield. However, using the dodge roll instead of a shield is great at evading attacks, and for many battles I preferred this method, even though it was a little bit more dangerous as it required more timing. You can also run, which you'll be doing a lot, trying to find a bit of space where you're not being attacked to drink a health potion. There are other items you can use, such as throwing a spear, fireball, but to name a few, and these will be needed from time to time. Using these simple but effective moves and combinations, along with reading what the boss is going to do, is the only way to win the battle, which is by no means easy. One wrong move at times and a boss can take you out in one hit, and there will be times when you think you're doing well only for the boss to use a special move to finish you off, much to my frustration. Bosses also have differing phases, so when you think you've mastered them they throw something new at you, and so you're continuously dying to learn. For me, ultimately, while I did find the game enjoyable at times, I found the balance between enjoyment and frustration to be in the balance of frustration more so. The thing is with me though, I'm not one to give up until I beat games like this, and if that means me tearing my hair out, then so be it, because once you beat one of these bosses, the feeling of elation and pure joy just gives you such a high that you really do feel like you've accomplished something, and that is the ultimate in this particular game. In terms of audio, throughout the game the devs have done a decent job in making the game atmospheric. The whole place has an aura of somewhere you don't want to be. The bosses and their sound effects sound grim and powerful, and you know when you've been pummeled with a massive shield or frozen with those damn icicles, for example. Now, visuals and performance, visually this game does not look much out of place from a Dark Souls game. The bosses are absolutely monstrous and really well designed. You can tell a lot of time has gone into them. The character himself I'm not entirely sure about, and the camera is annoying at times as it can be quite difficult to aim your attacks where you want them to go. I would have preferred being able to move the camera around, especially in the larger rooms. I have to say the design of the backgrounds though is really eerie and look really good. Unfortunately, there are a lot of frame rate drops on the Nintendo Switch, and these are noticeable whether it's in docked mode or in handheld, which is a shame. Now, in terms of this game, value wise, the game is $17.09 for a limited time, and that will go up. And well, what can I say? If you like games that are difficult, then this is certainly for you. It will frustrate, it will take you to the edge and back again, and some of you will fall by the wayside. Only those who are prepared to put in the work will beat this one, and that means countless deaths, countless hours learning about your enemy, strengths and their weaknesses, and you're going to put in a lot of time. I've already lost many hours to this, so in that way it will certainly keep you occupied for hours till you're able to complete this. But it's not a game for the casual amongst you. This requires commitment, and after you complete the game there is not much else to keep you coming back. In fact, I think you'll want to have a long break. Sinner's Sacrifice for Redemption certainly accomplishes what it sets out to do in making a gothic boss battler which is as tough as nails and probably one of the hardest and most punishing games out on the Nintendo Switch right now. If you run hot, then give this one a miss for fear of many Switches ending up in pieces. If you are patient though, committed and can handle death after death, then this might be the punishing game you're looking for. A 7 out of 10. Now, if you're a new watcher here and you've enjoyed this video review, then why not consider subscribing to our channel for future gameplay videos and reviews. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that we can notify you of our future videos going live. We'd love to see you again, so please don't be a stranger. Hit that subscribe button. We want to see you on our next video. And certainly to those of you who are already our subscribers and who watch video after video, I want to personally say thank you to you, because without you guys leaving us comments, giving us feedback and hitting that thumbs up, SwitchWatch wouldn't be here today. So we really do appreciate it, and so does the rest of the SwitchWatch team. Thank you so much. My name's Juan Romero from SwitchWatch. Really appreciate your time today. I'll see you again on the next one. Take care.